Hey there, how you doing? Charlie Winters here with horse racing tips for Cheltenham on Friday the 15th of December. Well, a quick recap. Well, that was very nice. 20 times the stake return. £6 on, £121 back. Not a bad day. So let's have a bit of luck for this next round of tips. So if you give me a like, that'd be absolutely fantastic. Let's have it for a bit of luck. So let me get into it. So what I've gone for is I've gone for an each way lucky 63. Probably just a 10 pence each way lucky 63. I haven't put the bet on yet. It comes to £12.60, and then I might just have 20 pence each way accumulate, another 40p to take it up to £13. So the first few horses, they aren't fantastic prices, but I'm hoping that with it being a 10 pence each way lucky 63, if we can have a couple of winners, which they aren't great prices, it might all of a sudden after a couple of races make it into like a 50 pence or even £1 each way lucky 15, if you know what I mean, because we'll have 4 remaining runners and the first 2 runners on amazing prices. So let me get into it. I've got a few things already. So the first selection is Kintail at 9-2 in the 5/12 at Cheltenham. Nick Henderson won this race last year, and basically this horse needs to improve to win. I'm thinking Nick Henderson's maybe looked at the profile of the horse, he thinks it can improve, and it's got to. Already the Paul Nicholls horse is rated above it, so it must improve to win the race. I'm thinking Nick Henderson definitely sees improvement in this horse, and I think it could. Especially, it's definitely interesting with Nicky Henderson having the winner last year, and I think Kintail at 9-2 has got a decent chance. It will be a great start for if it wins. The second selection is Doddy the Great at 100-30 in the 1:15 at Cheltenham. I do believe this is also trained by Nicky Henderson. This horse has won all its races, barring one, I think. So this horse, it had a layoff, and then it was brought back at Ascot over a mile and 7.5 furlong. The previous run, it absolutely hiked up over 2 mile 5.5. I think it was at Wincanton. I think this horse has got a lot of class, and I still think they're learning with it. I think it could go to the front, and it could possibly make all. 130 seems a bit stingy, but it could be a decent price after the race. The third selection. Sorry, so there were 3 selections at smallish prices. So those of you that like each way, don't get me wrong, it does get more interesting towards the end of the video. So the third selection is La Malmaison at 3-1 in the 1:50 at Cheltenham, paying 5 places instead of 3. And a 3-1 price when they're paying first 5 seems stingy. I think if this gets round, it wins. I think it's very well handicapped. I think there's a lot of potential. The only thing is, it looked a bit iffy, but it's trained by Gavin Cromwell. So that all of a sudden for me is a huge tick. I will say that I think it's in the big race on Saturday. I can't remember what it is. At the early entry stage, it got 4 runners. So I think that's another race that needs looking at. But I shall talk about that Friday evening. So yeah, La Malmaison at 3-1 in the 1:50 at Cheltenham, paying 5 places instead of 3, is an interesting selection. The next selection is Lord de Mesnil at 8-1 in the 2:25 at Cheltenham, paying 4 places instead of 3. I hope they go with the tactics of this horse trying to make all and hopefully jump them into submission using the old cliche. There is Cepage that could try and scupper that by Venetia Williams that could try and make all. In its last 2 runs, though, Cepage has made a mistake at the first in both races. I don't want anything bad to happen, but hopefully it could make a mistake at the first fence again and present our horse with an easy-ish lead. I do like the look of Lord de Mesnil, and it does like Cheltenham. It also stays further than this as well. And the final. No, sorry, it's not the final selection. The next selection is Volcano at 28-1 in the 3 o'clock at Cheltenham, paying 5 places instead of 3. I think, once again, I've already tipped this horse last time when I think they paid out first 4 and it came 5th, or they paid first 5 and it came 6th. in exactly the same kind of race. I think if this horse gets into its rhythm again, I don't like the jockey, by the way, but don't worry about that. If it gets into its rhythm, I think it could be hard to pass again. And it'll definitely strip fitter, and yeah, it's got course and distance form, so it just needs to like up its game very slightly. And I like the look of it. My only dodgy thing is Ben Jones rides a different horse in this race. He rides Wick Green. Quite why, I don't know. It's not because of the weight, he can't do the weight, because he's on another horse that has also got 10 stone 2. I am fully aware that Volcano is £16 out of the handicap, but I think these kind of races are completely different. You can get horses rated much, much lower, taken to the varying fences, and actually run crackers. And finally, Captain Morgs at 13-2 in the 3:35 at Cheltenham, paying 4 places instead of 3. This horse won this race last year, and once again, it's a Nicky Henderson horse. The reason why I've gone for it, I did fancy his other horse. Then I saw that this horse won this race last year, and that's basically just about what swayed it. I was going to go for Bold Endeavour, which is also Nicky Henderson's, but I've just gone against it because he also had 2 runners in this race last year. He had the top weight and he had Captain Morgs. This year he's got Bold Endeavour, which is top weight, and Captain Morgs. I just think, although Captain Morgs, it's been chasing, and there's a lot of horses that are going chasing or have been chasing, and I just think that the fact that it won this race last year, it was 7-1 in the Racing Post, it's 13-2 in this race. I just can't ignore it at that price, and I think this could be a bit of luck in the first 3 races, who can have a couple of winners. It could get an interesting it could turn into an interesting Trixie or Paynton. Basically, if we have if the first 3 run very well, it could get a bit nerve-wracking for the final 3, especially because they are decent prices. So, the very best of luck. You can give me a like if you haven't already, or subscribe to the channel, that's great. If you could do me a favour, it's a bit late asking me that. If you can watch my videos to the end, I've qualified. Hooray! I've now got 1,000 subscribers, but I haven't got the watch time. So, as a thank you, if you can start watching my videos till the end, I really appreciate it, and I might be able to make a tenner a month through ads. How's that? So, Charlie Winters with his begging ball out, over and out. Cheers, mate.